And we are live. Welcome. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Tony here. Blue Green Artifacts, uh, Modern Playbook, Tales from the Flip Side. Pickups with Blue Green Artifacts here on YouTube, trying to revive this channel from the depths of despair. We are up to 58 subscribers now. So if you're checking this out, please click the link, click the subscribe, the button, the bell, all that good stuff. Yeah, I buy and sell stuff on eBay, on Whatnot quite a bit. Check me out, Blue Green Artifacts on Whatnot, Blue Green Artifacts on Instagram. Uh, I actually have a big sale coming up tomorrow. We'll talk about in a little bit. All those piles right back there, all those slabs. We are putting together 3 slab mystery packs, like a pack of cards, but with slabs instead. The floor on those puppies is going to be $500, minimum $500 value in each one. The biggest book in there is Sandman number 8, a 9.8, first appearance of Death, which last sold, as when I checked it yesterday, the last sale was $1,500. There's also a 9.8 first appearance of Spider Punk that last sold for $800. A lot of other really cool books. We got a first appearance of Sabretooth, first appearance of Kushala, first appearance of Lita, first appearance of, I don't know, I can't even think of them all right now. 36 books in total, 12 packs, 3 slabs to a pack. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. So tune in on Whatnot tomorrow. Check that out. For tonight here on YouTube, all we do is kind of look at books that normally it's stuff that I bought or ordered. A little bit different tonight. One of my favorite pastimes is going through my old long boxes, like the original ones from my original collection. I first collected in the mid 80s. As a kid, I picked it up again in the 90s as a college student and then jumped back into it probably about 6 years ago now. But going through my original boxes from the 80s and 90s is one of my favorite things to do, just because every 6 months I go through and find more gems that I didn't even know I had, stuff that is important now that it wasn't important before. So yeah, let's look at some of that. This is probably one of my favorite finds from my own collection that I may have had in years. So love Sandman. This is Sandman number 75. God, I really got to aim this better so that we don't get so much glare. Let's tilt a little bit, shall we? All right. Maybe that'll work out better. We're still getting some glare. Whatever. So this is Sandman number 75. This is the final issue. If you know Sandman, you know there's a second print of this book that is pretty rare. It says second print down on the barcode. But this is not a second print. And this is not the standard cover. This is actually, if I can aim right, that is a good old-fashioned newsstand edition. There is one of these on eBay selling for $200. It's not mine. This one is minty. It is minty, like 9.6/9.8. I'm going to send this puppy in to get graded. I don't know if it's more or less rare than the second print, but Sandman is big. This final issue, even the standard cover A, has become a big thing. And yeah, I'm gonna grade that puppy. That's awesome. Love it. Some more in the Sandman realm. I had a few versions or a few copies of this. I've been picking this up myself, but the Death miniseries, her first solo book, Death, The High Cost of Living. It was a 3-issue miniseries. We've got all 3 issues here in crisp, minty condition. This is a good spec book. I actually nominated this for the Spec 10, the number 1, wherever it is, a while back. Death was a breakout character from the comic series. She showed up in issue 8 and instantly became a huge thing and spawned many miniseries, not just this first one. And if that same pattern happens in the TV show, which I don't see why it wouldn't, this would be great source material for a Death miniseries or a Death series of her own, or whatever they end up doing with her. Uh, in this miniseries, I think once a year, she has to take human form and live among mortal people. Uh, anyways, so yeah, great series. What else did we find in our own long boxes? I've been picking these up whenever I can find them. The anniversary frame. Uh, Back in the late 90s, my dad used to do a bunch of garage sales. So I had gone through my comics to sell at those garage sales. So some of them have, I don't know if you can see that, 50 cents. You could have picked this up. If you had gone to my dad's house in Fargo, North Dakota, 29 years ago, not that long ago, but you could have picked this up for 50 cents. No longer. All right, another Sandman book. Issue 50 is another one that's gaining some steam. The 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 Ramadan story. Booster Gold has been popping up. I already sold my issue 1. I was a big Booster Gold fan. This is issue 2. It says this is the first appearance of Blackguard, the Pete Davidson's character from the Suicide Squad that got killed like instantly. But I think the first appearance for him is in number 1, but it's first cover, but still early Booster Gold. So this was actually a pickup from maybe 6 months ago. It came in a package and I set it aside in my office and I never opened it. And it doesn't matter. It's fine. I wasn't going to do anything with it right away anyways. But I love this set. And after opening it, I love it even more. There are certain titles where I think it's best to just buy the whole run, or a large lot. So this was a series by Tokyo Pop, is the publisher. A manga series, actually. But it is a licensed series for Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Zero's Journey. So this is the first original story set in the Nightmare Before Christmas universe that they've done. They've had other ones after this, but this is the issue 1. It is up in price. It is well above cover. I think it's goes for 30, 40, 50. I don't know. I bought a few of these. I got one 9.8. I'm hoping that maybe this will also be a 9.8. But all of these, whoever I bought these from, took care of their books, because like I don't even see spine ticks on these. But these are just really cool covers. So I'm going to kind of flash through them. We've got 1. We've got 2. The artwork is just really cool. 3. I'm bumping up against my microphone. There we go. 4. 5. Number 1 was not a heavily printed book. I want to say it was around 10,000. So especially these later issues of a non-big 3 publisher. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas is a pretty big IP, but these I think ended up in the kids section in a lot of comic shops, which they don't really stock up on those kids section books very much. So some of these are super low print. And we've got an entire run here. That was 11. This is 12. Zero's always been kind of a fan favorite. I don't know if they will use this story in any property. I think they're working on some kind of Nightmare Before Christmas movie or show or something, but it would make sense. Zero's a fun character. That was 15. This is 16, 17, 18. This is the final issue. And then there was an epilogue, issue 00 epilogue. But they are all in beautiful, beautiful condition. So glad I picked that up, and especially the number 1. I'm going to get that one graded. Perfect corners. It's a 9.8 all day long. Great series. All right. I also found a stash of, this isn't a big haul. I've actually got more upstairs, but I'll do those in a follow-up haul video. I got a stash of magazine books that I had set aside to get graded. So, pardon me. We'll talk about we'll take a look at them and we'll talk about why. I usually stock up the magazine books until I've got 25 or more. They're kind of a pain in the butt to get pressed. I do like to get them pressed even if they're not regular comic size. So this is, from my understanding, and Topher, if you watch this, you can correct me, but I believe this is the first comic book for Tiny Toons. Tiny Toons did show up in a lot of kids' books, but this is a magazine-size comic book, Tiny Toons Adventures, first collector edition, big fall issue. And this one's in really good condition, too. So, first appearance of anything, especially animated properties, is awesome. These I have been chasing, and I've got a few of these in here. This is Lego Mania magazine. This was from September, October 2001. And look who's on the bottom there. This is Harry Potter. And if you go back to the Harry Potter comic books that matter, they came out after this, the September, October 2001. So this is the first, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a true comic book, but the first Lego Harry Potter. I think first Lego characters is going to be a thing at some point in time. But first Harry Potter in, I don't know. He showed up in a panel of some other book that I think did predate that by a little bit. Anyways, let's keep going. We've got Marvel, an old Marvel monster magazine, Dracula Lives #2. If you know Strange Academy, you might know the character what was her name? Zoe Laveau. Zoe Laveau is one of the mutants in the Strange Academy from Marvel, the Scotty Young series. Zoe Laveau is an ancestor of another Marvel character named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau was an old voodoo priestess kind of character from New Orleans. And actually, Marie Laveau is a real person who Marvel used in comics, brought into comics, and now have turned her into her legacy is in the Marvel comics. She has her real character, her real persona has a first appearance way back in the Golden Age, which I have that as well. But this is her first Marvel or comic book appearance in Dracula Lives. Marie Laveau talks about the vampire and the voodoo woman. She is the voodoo woman, not on the cover. But love these painted monster covers from the 70s and 80s. Really nice. What else? We've got more copies of that Harry Potter Lego Mania or Lego magazine. Lego Mania magazine got a bunch of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harry Potter people don't mess around. So, all right. We were chasing down Dungeons and Dragons. If you watch my earlier haul video, I've got a comic book from Spain that is the first ever appearance of Dungeons and Dragons in its own comic book. There were ads from the early 80s, like full-page Dungeons and Dragons ads that had little comic strips in them. So that if you find one of those, I don't have the list of what those issues were, but those would be the first appearance preview-wise. The first comic book was only released in Spain. There was that 80s cartoon that was pretty popular here in the States, but it was very popular in Spain. So they launched it into its own comic book. Here in the States, we didn't get Dungeons and Dragons in comic books until 1989. DC started 2 series that started the same month, so I don't know which one was first. There was a Dragonlance series and there was an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons series. But the year before that, TSR made their own comic book / graphic novel. A lot of people don't collect graphic novels as first appearances, but this is the first U.S. Dungeons and Dragons. In the Dragonlance saga, there are 2 copies of it. So we've got a big Dragonlance movie coming out with Chris Pine and a bunch of other big name actors. These magazine-sized books aren't quite as collectible as comics, but they're really nice and they're beautiful, and you can get them graded and slabbed. So this is the first appearance of Dark Crystal in Marvel Super Special number 24 from back in the 80s. They did have a Dark Crystal show on Netflix that didn't really go anywhere, but all right, we've got Star Wars Insider. I love this cover, so I picked up a bunch of these. This is like the graffiti art of Boba Fett. Who is the artist? God, it looks like it's not Frank Cho. God, I'd have to look it up. If you know who it is, put it in the chat. But I do want to get some of these slabs, sell some. This would be like great wall art. Such a great cover. A Star Wars Boba Fett graffiti. So we've got 3 of them here that we were going to send off. I think I have a few more sitting around somewhere too. And then I sent in a bunch of Last Ronin books to get graded last year. TMNT has just cooled off in general. I did really like this cover for the director's cut version of The Last Ronin number 1. So we've got a couple of copies of that as well we were going to send off. And that's about it. I broke open a couple boxes this morning that I haven't had a chance to bring down and sort through yet. But hey, again, follow me on Whatnot, Blue Green Artifacts. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Green Artifacts. Click subscribe here on YouTube. And that's it. Have a good night. Catch you all later. I will maybe see you on I'll be in the chat for a drunken chat maybe tonight, and I'll give Mel some shit. All right. Catch you later.